Hi everybody, and welcome to Heart of the Earth. I'm Angela Hart. Today we're doing something a little different for the show. We're doing our very first Heart of the Earth Business Hangout, which is similar to Google Hangouts. And our leading expert in internet marketing, Charles Di Bartolo, has joined us, and he's going to teach us about both Hangouts and more in particular about internet marketing and mobile apps. Mobile apps are very useful for all different medical disciplines and businesses, and we're going to learn what this is all about and meet some of our community members. So thanks for joining us, and let me first introduce to you Charles Di Bartolo. Welcome, Charles.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. And Charles is going to do a PowerPoint presentation about mobile apps, and then we're going to discuss it with the different participants. So first, let me introduce you once again to Charles Di Bartolo. Thank you, Charles, for coming here today.
Thank you. Great to be here.
And we're going to go around, and each person will introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about your business. And also, if you're doing some community work here on Staten Island in particular, we'd like to know about that. Please.
I'm Celeste DeSenza. I'm partners of Chrysalis Hair Salon on Staten Island. And we have many different functions that we have to get out there to our community, and representing from, it could be schools to any kind of local charity events.
That's wonderful. So you participate in them and you help raise funds for different charities?
Yes, we've been almost 30 years. We're doing this next year for our business. And we have a wonderful clientele that helps us to enable us to do that in the community.
That's great. Thank you for that. And what is your name?
Hi, I'm Samantha. I'm a stylist and stylist, and we've been working with Charlie to develop an app for our clients to make it more accessible for them to make appointments and to see the events and styles that we do in our salon.
I can't wait to learn more about that when Charlie and you talk about that. And you, sir, my hero of the day, because this gentleman is going to tell you what he's invented. Please.
I work for a company, Milestone Scientific. We're a research and development company that has developed instruments for drug delivery to replace the hypodermic syringe, to make it far safer, far more efficacious, record keeping, and most of all for the patients, it is pain-free applications of any drug into the body, including dentistry. We've given over 65 million injections worldwide, all 100% safe and all painless.
Now you know why he's my hero, because he delivers painless injections. Thank you.
He's my hero because efficacious. I have to look that one up.
New word.
And you, sir, can you introduce yourself, the name of your business?
Certainly. My name is Hans Wiesner, and I'm with Wiesner Brothers Nursery. We've been on Staten Island since 1928. We have an 8-acre nursery and garden center, the largest retail garden center in New York City. And we've been discussing with Charles Di Bartolo, who designed our website and handles our social media, an app to help people with their seasonal gardening needs, as well as dealing with reminders about pests, diseases, watering, even deer. And we are very involved with the community. We always believe in giving back. We're involved with Staten Island Chamber of Commerce, Staten Island Economic Development Corp., Staten Island AIA. We host garden clubs at our nursery, allow them to use our facilities and give them discounts after their meetings. We host numerous schools. They come for free tours. So we've always believed in investing in our community, and that's why we all live here on Staten Island as well as work here.
And you, sir?
Angelo Velarde. I'm with the Morris County, New Jersey Educational Services Commission. I've been working with Better BizWorks. They designed our website several years ago, formidable. And we recently began to talk about apps and how apps would be particularly important to schools, add some functionality for parents and students.
Well, this is great. And many of us here on the panel are not that familiar with apps, although some of us are, such as Angelo. And so what we'll do is have our leading expert, Charles Di Bartolo, give a brief presentation now, and we hope you will enjoy it, and then we'll come back and discuss it.
Great.
Okay?
Wonderful. Okay. So this presentation is on mobile apps for small business. And basically what's happened in the last few years is we've gone from print to computers, and which used to be just desktop PCs, to laptops, to tablets, to phones. And today, that shift has changed the way we market. We used to market everything in print, radio, television, and today a lot of it is happening on the internet. But more so, people want convenience from the palm of their hand. So today what's happening is a lot of people are moving to apps, and up until recently, it's only been useful for large companies. Large companies were able to afford apps because they cost well over $10,000 at the time. Today, apps are as little as $2,000 to put into a business and allow business owners to market to their consumers or their market, whether it's B2B or consumer, in a way that they have a little piece of real estate on that cell phone or that smartphone in this case. And that's what apps are. So in this movement in marketing from print to media to the internet, it's important that we start to look mobily, responsively. Okay, so reasons for having an app, and an app is that little square icon that you have on your phone, for those of us that don't know what an app is. And when you click on it, it's like a piece of software on your phone, but it connects to different areas. It allows you to attract new customers for business. It allows you to keep your customers coming back with loyalty and rewards programs. It helps you to improve communications because you can use texting and push notifications to get to a customer in a way that we never could before. You can geo-target customers by location, where if someone comes into your area, whether it's a couple of blocks, the same block, or a borough, or a city, or a state, or a country, you can literally contact people according to where they are location-wise. And you can offer them specials, offers, and let people know at different time frames in those locations what you're offering. It helps to increase word of mouth because a lot of people talk about apps on their phone. They like to share them. Apps that are good move virally through the internet, online, and mouth to mouth. You can also have your brand in the palm of your customer's hand, and that's very important today. Everyone can benefit through mobile marketing in some way or another. So this slide here shows, a couple of different things that are most popular in apps today for small business especially. You can offer rewards, you can offer specials, you can show events, and you can share pictures. So for instance, in a hair salon like Chrysalis, customers many times get their hair done and they look great, but they're not dressed for their event. Well, now they can take a picture at the event with their spouse or their significant other, and then post it to Chrysalis, and Chrysalis can put it on their website and so forth. If a job is done at Wiesner Brothers, let's say, and they get their landscaping done, and they want to show their home, they can actually share that picture with Wiesner Brothers or with the world. They can do it socially. You can post events and let people know about events that are happening. And then like businesses like restaurants, we had a bakery and a restaurant coming. They're not here today, but they could post their menus online, and people can actually order online through an app. So, for instance, a bakery can order cakes online. We had Alfonso's Pastries. They were coming. They couldn't make it today. But you can actually order cakes online, right down to the fillings and the icing and the colors and so forth.
Let me ask you, Charles, why is it more convenient, or maybe I've answered my own question, why do we need an app on a phone? Why can't I just use my phone and go to Wiesner Brothers website and do what you're saying? Is it more intricate, the app?
Well, it's more convenient because all you have to do is hit a button. So you don't have to remember what Wiesner Brothers website is, okay? And the things that would be most popular for you to use are all in one touch. You can literally just touch on anything. There's a menu, and you can pick anything you like, and it is actually made exactly for the phone.
Okay, so instead of having to use your phone and go to the website and try to find what you want to order or news and information, those particular items that communicate with the user of the site are already programmed into the application.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay, so here are some benefits. Basically, you can have a contact tab on an app. You can have a message tab. You can create a fan wall, fans of customers. You can show events. You can have an email form where you can sign up for email notifications. You can sign up for push notifications. There's social onboarding where you can basically share your experiences on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and so forth. I think that's about it for the tabs that are on this slide. Who can use mobile apps? Well, bars and nightclubs really like to use mobile apps. Realtors, law firms, restaurants, schools, bands, sport teams, not-for-profit organizations, retail stores, professional services, golf courses, health spas, hair salons, gyms, and entertainment. There's so many more, but those are the ones that more popularly use apps. Okay, so some of the native features of an app, you can integrate your blog into an app, which makes it very easy to show articles that you have. And those blog articles can actually educate the public on what you do, give them ideas on what to buy or what new trends there are. Okay? You can offer all of your business information. Anything that you have on your website can also be offered on an app in an easy-to-read format. Usually we keep it a little bit shorter, but that's one of the things you can do. You can offer your contact information, and also you can create a custom appearance that you want on an app that's specifically for that. We want to put your brand in there. We want to make it easy to read and look at from a phone. I mentioned the fan wall feature. You can also do custom email from there. So basically, once someone puts their email in an app, if they choose to, it actually goes to a Constant Contact or MailChimp or whatever other companies that offer email services out there. And then you have a customized list according to people's interest, and then the business owners can actually send information out according to what people want to hear about. Same thing can happen with push notifications, which we'll go over. You can offer event listings, a calendar of all the events that are going on, past and present and future. And there's also an email photo feature where customers can share their photos and businesses can share their photos. One of the nicest features is a loyalty card that's literally on the app, just like a loyalty card that you would have in your wallet or in your purse. And you can have little punch holes, which are digital instead of real holes. And let's say if you go to Chrysalis Salon 10 times, they may give you a free service. If you come into Wiesner Brothers and you purchase a certain amount of products, you may get a loyalty feature, whatever it is that they would offer. You can order food online. You can get directions. Basically, on your contact page, you'll have a map of where the store is. And from wherever you are, the app will show your location and how to get to the location of the business automatically. And then we also have GPS coupon features with QR codes and things like that, which we'll get into. You can do mobile reservations. There's a messages feature where you can message back and forth. There's a membership feature where you can add memberships online. And also, like I said, a mailing list feature. Some of this is redundant. There's a music player feature for bands. You can also put instructional sound or podcasts. There's a mobile shopping feature. There's an image gallery where you can put images of your work. You can add a mortgage calculator if you're in financial services or home services, or real estate agents can use a mortgage feature. There's a notepad feature where you can keep notes and send them back and forth. There's also a news feed that gives you all the information on the company, either scrolling or any news that has come up locally or nationally on the phone itself. So everything is right there on the company. You can also, there's one-touch dialing. So from your phone, of course, the easiest thing to do is just hit the number and it dials. There's a news feed, like I said. One of the most interesting things is push notifications. So today, once someone opts in to be notified about your services or your specials or your offers, or even information from, let's say, the school for Morris County ESC, they can keep all of their parents notified of a snow day, an emergency situation, or anything. With the touch of one button, every parent can know what's going on. Students can know what's going on. Events can be broadcasted, and so forth. There's a podcast feature, like I said, mainly for bands or people that are doing things with sounds. There's a QR coupon feature. So if we offer a coupon, people can use their phone to validate the coupon in their business. So it stops businesses from having fraudulent coupons and so forth. People come in, use their phone, they can use it once, and it can't be used again, or you can use it multiple times, a certain amount of times, and it's all set on that QR code. And a QR code is a little square with black and white dots. I'm sure you guys have seen them. And use your phone scanner to actually load it in.
Wow.
Okay.
This is great stuff.
Also, you can do a map with points of interest. So the school can have a map of everything in their facility or around their facility. Wiesner Brothers can do a map on their nursery, on where everything is. And then people can just open their phone and see where everything is in relation to where they are.
So it sounds to me as though it's sort of bringing everything from the internet that you would search on for a particular business into one square icon on the desktop.
Automatic, convenient, and easy to use.
I like that idea. That sounds great. That sounds very convenient.
It is. So there's also a tell a friend feature because you want your information to go viral. There's a real estate feature for people that are selling homes. They can put their listings online. There's a sports stats feature. There's social features. There's a walkthrough tab. So what that does is when you first get the app, it will take you for a tour on the app to show you all the features that are available so that you know what you can use. And during that time, it also encourages you to sign up for notifications and email, and usually gives you an offer. It might be a loyalty reward points that go towards getting something free. Okay. You can integrate videos. There's tip calculators for bars and restaurants that can be put in. And then we talked a little bit about industries with apps. These were some of the people that were coming to the show, and some that I thought
But it's
would be
applicable for all.
interesting. Yes, but hair salons, schools, and opticians, jewelry stores, anything in the medical field, bakeries, landscaping, nurseries, restaurants and bars, so forth. That's everything on the apps.
Fascinating.
Questions?
So Charles, you said it costs just a few $1,000s for a company to come to you and for you to design this whole thing and get it working so that they have the product now?
Right.
Just like that. And how long does it take you to put something like this together?
Usually we get it done, we can get it done if all the information is there from the customer in a few days to 2 weeks.
What kind of
usually
information
takes
do you
30 days.
Okay. What kind of information do you need? Typically, like let's talk about Angelo, who's in the educational field. What kind of information do you need from, what is your position once more again, Angelo?
I'm the superintendent of the Educational Services Commission.
For all of Jersey or a particular
Morris
county?
County.
From Morris County.
Yeah, and we've serviced the school districts in Morris County, mostly in a support capacity, special ed, transportation, purchasing services, to help the districts function more efficiently.
Efficacy. We're back to efficacy.
Efficacy, yes.
So,
It's a wonderful word. Efficiency and efficacy.
I'll
Yes.
never use
There
it
we
again,
go.
I promise.
No, that's a good word.
Yes.
Because we use it a lot because those
Yes.
are solutions. And this is really a solution that is shared amongst the educational community because it's about information, it's about sharing, it's about access, and providing solutions when the districts share or we share with districts. That gives everybody an opportunity to participate. And one of the reasons that we looked at the app was that because there's an interactive part that people can give us information, we can put it in the app, and then we can share that information. So it's
such as what? What would be, could you think of something typically that you'd like to share with the other
we have,
districts?
yeah, like we have, for example, we have events that we conduct throughout the county that are special ed events. By everyone having access to the app, they're able to dial in, see it, and I don't understand all the push notification stuff that Charles is going to tell us about. But somehow when you schedule an event, for example, if we're doing something for child study teams to get training in a specific instrument that they have to use, we can tell all the districts that it's being offered at this day, at this time, here's the specific information, and they can get back in. And of course, the other part is everyone having access to the app so that they can get these notifications. But we don't know. It's still new because a lot of the districts. I was talking with Charles before. most of the districts that have apps, which is like 4 or 5%, are student-generated apps, because it's, there's a lot of, the kids are very, tech savvy.
What do you mean student-generated?
Well, it's a project, like for their technology class. So they say, well, let's build an app, and they'll do schedules and the sporting events, or if there's a dance, or that kind of stuff. So they build the apps, but a lot of districts, we feel, need kind of a comprehensive that would tie it into scoring, tie it into community notifications, fire, police.
Oh, that's a good idea, yeah.
Because schools are security oriented after
Nowadays, yeah.
all the things that have happened, and it's just a way to get everyone in the community with that kind of mobility that really we only have now through the internet or through telephones. This is just we see great potential here.
Great. And so, Charles, what kind of information would you need from Angelo, who runs the school district services? What kind of information would you need from a client like that, and what can you do for them?
Well, we're starting with Angelo, which is probably the most complicated of all the apps. And the reason is because the school has so many facets of things that they need to get out to the public, and the public needs to get from the school. So, for instance, schools today have all kinds of products that tie into the study needs of the student, the teaching needs from the teachers as far as what they'd like to distribute. Permission slips, attendance, absentee forms, all of that can be transferred digitally today instead of having to fax over or send or leave to the student to give to the teacher, where the parent can actually send those things right to the teacher or right to the school.
Is there a way for you to control an app so that a parent would only have access to that app and not the student, for instance,
Yes, well,
permission slips?
There's different levels of access with the school.
Okay.
So, with a regular retail business, everybody kind of gets the same login.
Sure.
But with schools, you can have, for instance, the board of Morris County ESC can have one level of application where they get everything from the board minutes
Right.
to their documents. Teachers can get staff information. Parents can get safety information and student information. Students would get educational information, event information. So yes, they can have different levels of access, and so I would need all the information that the school wants to offer to all of those levels, and that becomes quite a bit of information. So that would not be your 30-day or less app. Right?
No, we know that.
Okay.
Right.
It's a long process because, well, there's security issues, as you
Yes.
mentioned, and there's different levels of permission, and each of those has to be built in. Plus, Charles talked before about apps being fun, and that's a lot of it. You shared some of that. The galleries, the pictures, the dances, the sports events. Those are all the fun activities that you want to get people involved in with the app. But the security issues are, those are the things that we have to work out to make sure that.
Thank you. And now let's talk about a landscaping business or a type of retailer that uses those types of services. What would you discuss with Hans, or what have you worked out with Hans already?
Well, we've discussed it. It's in the thinking stages right now. But there's the seasonality of what Hans does is a lot of people, they think about planting in the spring when it should have probably been thought of 2 months before, like right now. And so it's good to let people know early what's happening, what they need to plan for, what they need to do. Also, what's available, what's in season, when flowers are in bloom, when it's time to pick things up. Hans has a constant inventory that's coming in and out of the place according to what's plantable at that time and so forth. And he could tell you a lot more than I know about his industry.
Well, and the thing that's also very important is that it's like anybody here in this group could tell you that if you are proactive and you could handle a problem in its early stages, it's a lot easier than if it gets out of hand, such as a pest in the garden, a disease, not enough water, too much water. So if you have this app and there's a quick way to give you some reminders of what you should be doing this time of year, what you should look out for, it would really, in the long run, save them money as well.
So, well, just one thing with that while we're on it. For instance, I've gone to, they have a very knowledgeable staff there. And, you know, I had a weed problem at one time, and they said, well, you know, go get a sample, give me a 2-inch sample of your lawn, and they would tell me what best products to use on the lawn to get it exactly right.
You mean
right?
based on whether it's alpha or, not alpha, what's that word called? Alkaline or?
Oh, no,
Acidic?
that's more of the pH of the soil.
Yes.
But this, we actually don't ask for 2 inches, we'd actually like
so-
12 inches.
Right, right.
Oh.
right. It was,
But
whatever it
that
was,
would
I
be
took
a little bit
chunk.
more challenging to diagnose.
And you gave him the diagnosis?
Yes, we do. I believe you probably went to see Paul.
Yes.
But what we ask you to do is basically cut a piece of sod out if it's the lawn, if it's on a tree or a shrub, to bring in a branch where some of the leaves are being discolored. If you could capture the predator on the plants, it could be not the deer, but maybe like an insect, and bring it in. We could diagnose it because it's like everything else. It's very technical. You know, it could be an insect, it could be a mollusk, could be a mite, and they're all different.
Do you do commercial landscaping also?
I thought you were going to ask me to do a commercial. No. Yes, we do commercial and residential. Yes.
So would the app be different for a residential user for his business versus
No,
commercial?
well, some of the same applications. For instance, today, instead of having to bring that 12-inch piece of sod, you might be able to take a picture of an insect, of a sample, of the leaves. They can forward it right up and get an answer right away. You know, maybe not right away, you know, when they can get to it. But the point is that it makes it a lot easier where somebody doesn't have to grab a bunch of bugs and bring it to Wisdom,
If you get a picture of it, that's usually good.
Yeah.
The only
yeah.
problem is a lot of garden pests are nocturnal. So
Okay.
you got to go out there at night.
Okay. And Charles, some people here have asked you about what is a push notification specifically, and how would it apply to any of the businesses here?
Okay, so a push notification is kind of like a text message. Most people know what text messages are today. But the difference is you can actually pick an area. You can actually build a fence digitally and pick anything from a square block to a nation or the whole world. And you can either set it so that everyone in that area gets a notification. You can have all your customers get a notification. So it'll just pop up on your phone, for instance, that a certain tree is in season and available at Wiesner Brothers. Or maybe that at Chrysalis Salon, there's no wait for the next hour and a half, right?
Also can be timely.
Yes,
Or-
it can,
or
it can be
lifetime,
anything.
live.
And it could also happen when someone is coming into an area. So like, for instance, the bakery, when somebody's coming down Victory Boulevard, when they hit maybe within 4 blocks of the bakery, you could know that there's fresh bread available.
Oh, that's a
Right.
great, that is very exciting. I'm thinking about that. We had a retail store, I don't know if you know that. We had a pharmacy and
Oh,
gift
did you?
store at one time, yeah. So we had this retail business, and I would have loved it if a customer were just about on its way past, the store, and they get a notification saying, guess what, we just put such and such on sale
Right.
for you to come in. That's exciting.
It is. It's really a new way to market to people, and a timely way. You know, I look at, you know, we're talking about Williams Eyeworks before, and at one time, back before we had apps for small business, he had mentioned to me that, you know, he was on Facebook, and he put up, he's staring in his store, there's 3 feet of snow on the ground, and he's saying, there's nobody in the store right now. And he said, my doctor's waiting here, I'm paying the doctor.
Right.
And so he put out on Facebook, no wait, and everybody that was stuck at home came in to have an eye exam, right? So that's a way today that you don't even have to be on Facebook, that everybody that's a customer could know that there's no wait for an exam.
That's
right?
excellent.
So there's a lot of things that can be done. You know, you just have to use your imagination on how you do it.
And do you help?
Oh, absolutely.
You're the creative person
Yes.
with these ideas. I love it. Now, we have a gentleman here, Leonard Osser, and he's got this medical device that he distributes to dentists currently. And in other countries, it's distributed to other medical professionals. And I know that he has a blog, or I thought I saw a blog on his site, or it's about to be created. How do you see an application working for a company such as that?
Well, B2B is always, you know, a little bit different, business to business, because he's got to get out to the distributors, he's got to get out to the medical field, and then later it turns into creating a demand from the consumers, so they go back to their dentists and doctors and ask for the product like all the pharmaceutical companies do today. So his app would change in stages, but the ability is basically the same. First, he's got to distribute his product and ideas to the people who can distribute it, right? So the first thing is to get into the medical field and allow them, let's say, video samples of how the product is used and so forth, which may or may not be interesting to the consumer, okay? But it would be interesting to the distributor. It might be all kinds of information on how they would disseminate it, what the length of time that it's useful for, and the ordering procedures and so forth. Later, it would be all about the consumer, and they might even have a separate app just for the consumer to explain ease of use, what the benefits are, and so forth.
Interesting. And I'm wondering, Charles, is this something that you could offer to the American Dental Association to distribute to all of their members, for instance, a video? Is there a way to create a program whereby you're going through an association such as the American Dental Association, that this app would then be distributed to all the dentists and they would get a video of this product, for instance, being used or its availability?
Well, from that point of view, that association could basically send out all of their news and information to all the dentists on everything that they have, events, products, services.
So, for instance, couldn't the WAND partner with the ADA and perhaps help in some of the costs of putting together this app so that their product would be advertised through the app?
Sure. And the price is so negligible for something of that scale, that probably wouldn't even be an issue for the American Dental Association or...
But the partnership aspect
WAND.
and the promotion of it, I think, could be very
Yes.
exciting.
Yeah, we have about 25,000, 30,000 dentists worldwide using our products. So how would we notify them that we have this app? How does
Well, there's a lot of ways to promote it. One, already you have a website, so it would be
Yes.
on your blog. You would write articles on the product, which you're probably already
we
doing.
already have, yeah.
You would distribute it on your social media platforms and your email. Whatever way you're advertising your product today, you would advertise to download the app. We make, for instance, in retail companies, we make postcards that are right on the desks. In a wholesale or B2B situation, you're going to distribute it in whatever form. You would distribute a sample of your product, a brochure, and so forth. But digitally is the way to go. The best thing to do is to create a video on what your product has and then have a link to download the app right on the video.
Is there a way to also snail mail it to let people know that it's available in a case like
Just in a
that?
postcard.
Right, in a postcard, like
Simple
you
and
said.
easy.
That's interesting. Thank you. And what about in the beauty business? I understand that you're working with Samantha in developing an app for the salon. Tell us how you two are working together.
Okay. Would you
I
like
was going to say, it's exciting for us to develop an app because we can put pictures on there of before and after work so that people that do download the app could see the type of work that we do. It's also an incentive for people to download the app when we have a loyalty program, because if they come in and they have a certain amount of visits, they'll get a service for free. So it's exciting. They can see the events that we do, and it's a creative way to get our customers involved to coming back in.
Sure, they can even set appointments on the app. So
That's exciting too, yeah.
But
Because
makes it
everybody's
really
on the
easy.
go.
Right.
So everybody has
Yes.
their doctor's appointments on their schedule, everything's in their calendar. So if they're on their phone and they see the chrysalis button, they'll be more prompted to make an appointment or to call or to see what's going on in the salon. Or they'll, like Charlie said, get push notifications that we have specials going on. So that'll help us drum up more business by bringing people in, by giving them those push notifications.
Also, it could also get to a group of people that don't know the services that we have. And if you put it on the app, like for example, a lot of men always think that right away that it's a hairstyling, they won't approach it. And I'm like always saying, we have someone there doing barber cuts and shaves.
Oh.
We have people doing like extensions and things, and even men come in like quietly. We have a room that they can get their hair colored.
A
Nobody
private
knows
room.
it.
Oh, that's
You know,
great.
it's things that we have. We
I think
also
that's
have,
great.
yeah, because men don't feel like comfortable to be amongst everybody with their whatever they want to have, an
Sure.
enhancement of color in the hair, or any even waxings, anything that you would be private about. You know, people have to realize that an app, and maybe the wife will come in and say, here, go to the app and see what they can offer to men. I mean,
That's
I think
terrific.
it would be a great thing.
there's a lot of ways they can do things too. Chrysalis does a lot of cutting edge techniques, new things for people that
Creative.
people are looking for.
Yeah.
And today, if they want to do an educational event where they do a demo or show how a new technique is done and what the benefits are, they can actually put that out on events, and they can actually get responses for how many people are going to show for an event.
You mean right there live on the calendar when you say get
Well,
responses?
they'll put it on the calendar,
Well,
and let's say
send
over
it
the
out.
course of a week or two, they'll get responses and know how many people they should prepare for.
And you know, it also, I know Staten Island, some people don't know what's going on, so your app will show you exactly what's happening in your own community, which sometimes people forget that. You know, they're looking through papers and all to see what's going on. The app could show that.
Right. Like, for
I'm
instance, most
excited
of my
about it
customers
because-
always have articles. Chrysalis does, Hans does,
Right.
of all of the things that they're doing during the course of every month. And one, people can check their website, but on the app, they'll be able to check those articles right from their
Right.
phone. So it's a nice, easy way to see what's going on, what's new, and keep up on what's happening in that business.
That sounds exciting. Are you
Yeah.
excited about this?
I am. You know what? We always say we dream in color. You know, so to me, an app, and we can tailor it to whatever we want to do. And I think it would be great for a lot of different people and different Staten Islanders has businesses. You know, to uniquely, like you were saying, to make it go easier for people. Like when they're coming home from work at nighttime and they're like, oh, you know, where we got to go, what are we going to do? It's right in front of you on that app. It helps.
Wow, exciting.
That's it. And you know, a lot of us here, they've been around a long time. A lot of these businesses and groups, and you want to keep up with the newer generation too. They expect these things today.
Right.
Whereas
It's no longer an option, it's a necessity.
people my age, we know about everybody here. We've been on the island a while. We've been in New Jersey. We know the product, the services. But the younger kids, they're not. And if it's not on an app or it's not online, they
we
don't
said
know
that,
about
yeah.
it.
I think it's a good way for
Yes.
clients to
You know?
connect
Yeah.
through businesses with modern technology too, because it's just at your fingertips. You don't have to type in a website. If you forget about, for us, in a salon, if somebody forgets to make an appointment and they swipe through their phone, they'll see the app and they'll be more prone to making an appointment, whereas maybe they would forget. So for businesses, it helps because it gives people that reminder to call or look at the app and get a service done.
It's interesting. Before Leonard was sharing, speaking about appointments being canceled and not met, he was sharing that 25% of all dental appointments are canceled or no-shows.
They're mostly no-shows because of phobia about
the needle.
getting the injection, and it wreaks havoc in the business of dentistry. It's terrible for the patient because they're not getting a treatment, and the business of dentistry, you're not seeing your patient. It's very, very.
You're
it's
booking
very, very
out
difficult.
time, precious time that
Yes.
never gets
And the
used. Once you
opportunity is
lose
empty.
it, the opportunity's gone.
Very, very difficult. But if you had on your app that you have our instrument, which is pain-free, no collateral anesthesia, I think that could make an enormous difference.
The dentist could probably even order a sample to see what it's like. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's.
Yeah, well, they could go. We train dentists in person. We have a staff of hygienists in the United States. We have training centers in different countries. We also train them on Skype. So
Oh.
all of this is readily available. It's very easy for the dentist
Right.
to learn how to use our instrument. The training is quite good.
Oh.
And it's
But if
not
we
a,
had an app, I think that would be very interesting for us, for an app for ourselves, and perhaps to help the 25,000 dentists throughout the world have their own app, which would feature our product, but perhaps we could help them with that.
that's
It's
what I'm thinking,
interesting.
a partnership with
yeah.
them. That's part of what we do. We do a lot of partnership building here in the community, and that sounds very exciting to me. Anything that will relieve pain and get the word out there. I can't tell you how excited I am about this product. Who here is afraid of needles besides me? Anybody else? I mean, nobody likes
I
them,
don't like
but,
'em.
but you imagine for pediatric dentists in
That's true.
particular, those poor little children that sit there and how fearful and scary that is, and now they don't have to have pain anymore. Leonard was sharing a story before. Tell them the story about the kid who thought he didn't get.
Well, there is a very good facility for pediatric dentistry in NYU. It's headed up by a very good professor, and they have on each chair, I think there are 20, 25 chairs, they have one of our instruments. And there was a child that had been in for about 10 visits, and of course had anesthesia for each visit. And there was another boy sitting next to him who was very, very physically, you could see he was very fearful, and asked the boy next to him, does it hurt? You know, what happens? And that boy, who had received 10 injections over as many months, told them, well, they don't use anesthesia here.
They don't
It
use
doesn't
needles.
hurt. Because when they give the injection, what we use is we have a disposable that looks like this. It looks like a pencil. However, it has a needle on it, of course, because you have to reach a target, but you can break it in various spots. So you break it here, so when you give the injection, excuse me, you go like this, and the child doesn't see the needle.
They just see your finger.
And because the computer controls the injection, it's below the patient's threshold of pain. So you don't even know you're getting an injection if you
believe
hide
this?
it. So this boy who had 10 injections never knew he had an injection.
Isn't that
It's quite-
amazing?
It's really
It's
miraculous.
below the threshold of pain.
Nice.
Very exciting. Does anybody have any questions for Charlie? Or does Charlie have any questions?
We'd like our people in media, I'd like them to get in touch with you to see how we do this, both for ourselves, but more interesting is how do we do this throughout the dentists worldwide to
Right.
create their own apps featuring us on that. That would be very
Sure.
interesting for us.
I'd love to sit down and talk to you about it.
That's what I'd like to see, is distributing the app to the dentists and partnering with them.
I have a question for Charles. How many apps are up and running?
Right now, I have 3 apps up and running and 8 in production. We just started running
Okay.
these apps. They're a lot easier to do for me than websites. Websites
Really?
took a lot more.
Really? I'm so
than the apps do.
surprised to hear that. I
Yeah.
don't know why.
Well,
I
new
just-
technology is just making it easier and easier to make these things. You know what it is with phones, a lot of the formatting is done almost automatically through the platforms that we use.
What do you mean by that?
Well, there's all different kinds of
Platforms,
phones.
what do you mean?
Every phone has a different, well, a platform is the operating system that we're working on.
Oh, such as Android or,
Right, and then the
Apple.
tools that we use to put it on Android and Apple. We use different tools.
okay,
to
and you
get
call
that
those
done.
platforms,
Right.
okay.
So they have the ability to size everything for each phone and so forth. We put in a series of different sizes and everything sizes correctly, and it works out very well. Whereas the old-fashioned way with websites, we built one, then we'd have to build another. And today,
for the phone,
technology
right.
is changing for everything.
Yes.
So that we use templates now with websites that kind of take on the responsiveness to go from phone to tablet to PC.
Yes.
And it allows every screen size to fit. So things are getting a lot easier. You
Yes.
know, like for instance, we're redoing for ESC Morris, we're bringing him to responsive. We did that for Wiesner Brothers, where they had a fixed site that looked great on a PC, but it didn't look great on a phone.
Right.
So now they're responsive. Chrysalis has gone through the same thing. So as technology changes, you know, it makes life a lot easier, and apps have gotten to that point where today, this is the beginning of where you can get in with an app at an affordable price and really make things happen for your customers, and it's worth it. There was a time I used to tell my customers, you don't need an app, there's no reason for you to spend that kind of money.
Because it was
to get
$10,000.
this. It was much more for a lot of the features we have today. It was
Really?
more. Today, it's easy.
Very exciting. So it sounds like websites will always be there, but being used less than these apps. Am I
I've
understanding you
learned
correctly?
never to say always.
Okay.
I learned never to say always. I think that you need to have a website and an app, because people on PCs today tend to buy more, do more. The large, high-priced decisions, expensive decisions, are usually done on a PC versus a phone.
Yeah, because it's
But
just,
that's changing. It is changing. As each generation comes into fold, more and more they're used to being just on their phones. And there are a lot of people that don't buy PCs anymore. I won't say a lot, but there's a few. And that's probably growing. So
because of the ease of just
at least for the
grabbing
10
it, holding it in
years,
your hand.
next 10 years, websites are going to be important. But I think apps are the way to go right now. I think, but you need to have both. You
What
can't
about
just do
social
one.
media? You're also a social media marketing expert. Tell us what's going on in that area.
Well,
Changes, consistencies.
There's a lot of new platforms out there. Well, I won't say new. They're around a couple of years now. You know, I'm big on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, for most places. Today now there's Google Plus also, which is great. Snapchat is a big thing for kids today. When I say kids, 25 is the average age. And it's because the evidence is gone. within 24 hours.
That they've used it, you mean?
I haven't, and although all the social media gurus are talking about that Snapchat is a new market because it creates an urgency to look at the video or pictures within 24 hours.
Oh,
before
because it
they're
will be gone. Oh, that's
But
interesting.
To me, that's a lot of work for 24 hours worth of advertising that you're going to see once or twice.
A lot of work for whom?
So I haven't
What do you
found
mean,
an
a lot of work for
application.
whom?
Well, it's a lot of work
To create it?
to create and do just to get exposure for 24 hours. To me, I want things to last. If we write an article in a blog and put it on social media, it could be there for 2 years or more, okay? So I get much more mileage out of that because people come back to it, where they don't do that on that new platform. And new platforms are coming out all the time, but those are the ones that are popular. Everybody should be on something. You don't have to be on everything. But I would tell new business owners getting into social media, most businesses are on social media today. Pick one that you're comfortable with, start with that, and then test the waters on other things and see what works for you. Because everybody's got a different demographic, and depending on that demographic, you have to look at certain platforms.
So with Instagram, which I'm a little less familiar, does it transfer videos or just still shots?
Videos and still shots. It has
So-
to be visually appealing because there's not a lot of writing on Instagram.
So I was wondering, with instructional videos, such as if Milestone, for instance, had an instructional video or an example of, for instance, a video shot of a child receiving the injection, this is what I can't wait to see, and they distributed that to people on Instagram, it could actually be a lot of fun. So I would post that everywhere. Watch this child get an injection, a painless injection, and zap it out. Would that be a good use of Instagram?
It's probably not his platform, Instagram. Like I said, it's got to be visually pleasing. That's what they're looking for. I would be Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, especially LinkedIn.
Actually, that's very good because we do have that. We have one from Sweden, actually. It's Swedish, but everyone understands it right away because the child
On
is
Instagram? Really?
is holding our instrument in the mouth, smiling while the drug is going in. So,
Well, we have to get that out in America. I mean, we all have to put it on our websites and let people know about this. A painless dental injection. As he was saying before, Leonard was saying before that the hypodermic needle was invented in the 18th century or 19th century?
1860s.
1860s. We've come a long way, baby, now.
We came a long way because it's actually very interesting. The person who invented it really invented it to take drugs to take liquid out of the body, aspirate. So a dentist saw the instrument years later and thought that rather than giving whiskey or, banging on a drum, which is what they did to take your mind off of the pain, if you could put some drug in, would that be terrific if it could stop the pain? So he asked everybody he ran into, and he was actually at an event with Sigmund Freud was there, and he asked Freud, and Freud said it's not his area of expertise. However, whenever he snorts cocaine, this is true, whenever he snorts cocaine, his nose gets numb. And so the dentist tried cocaine, which was the
original
drug
Novocaine.
used for dental anesthesia for years. And until cocaine was synthesized in the 1900s, and that's why every drug that we have, lidocaine, carbocaine, marcaine, they're all synthesized cocaine today. However, this dentist became a cocaine addict, as did Sigmund Freud.
No kidding. Did you know that?
No, I'd
That's
imagine though,
fascinating.
the patient return rate would have been much higher.
You're speaking only of Staten Island?
Right, or is that only Staten Island or all over, right?
I don't know.
Oh, that's a
Probably all
fascinating
over.
story, and
True
it's true.
story,
It's
true
true, fascinating facts that we
You
learn
wouldn't
here.
worry about the 25% of missed dental
Right.
appointments.
Right, exactly.
No, that's true.
Very good, right.
People would be fighting to get onto the dental schedule at that rate, right? So, Charles, tell us about Google Hangouts. We see that advertised, and how would it be helpful for the different businesses that are seated here with us today? Use each business entity as an example.
Okay, so Google Plus is one of those social media platforms that I wish people used more, but they don't use as much. It's probably a better platform technologically than a lot of the platforms that are out there. For one reason, you have something called circles on Google+. So today when we're on Facebook, everybody gets our message, at least that we think everybody gets our message. And it's going to family, friends, acquaintances, vendors, competition a lot of times. We can stop it from going out to people that are not friends, but on Google+, we can actually choose our circles. So we can make something family, friends, whatever you want to make it. And then choose who goes into those circles. And your message, maybe your family's tired of hearing about your business, or your vendors don't want to hear about your personal life, and so forth. So you can choose the circles. That's one. Two, Google Plus has a very nice visual platform. It's mainly for PC, but it works well on mobile. But it allows you something called Google Hangouts. And Google Hangouts, for anybody that has Gmail, there's a little thing that allows you to chat on email, but there's also a little button
Icon?
that has a camera. You click on the camera, and you can have a video chat with anybody in your Gmail accounts.
Have you seen the
They're
camera? I don't know what he's talking about. Have you
Like
seen it?
Skype?
I don't remember
So
seeing
it
it.
works really well.
Is it to the right
I
of
use it
the
all the time.
Gmail? Is it to the right?
It's actually, all of your contacts are to the left. If you'll notice
Right.
that under your mail files, you'll have a bunch of contacts.
Right.
And then you can click on one, and it opens up a chat box. And
Right.
I think in the upper left-hand corner of that chat box, there's a little face and there's a little camera. And you click on the camera, and it will open up a screen that will set up a video chat. Now,
You've done that before.
Well, in China, it's prevalent. They have it on WeChat, which you don't pay for. And people are chatting on it all the time, either sending messages, typing it in,
Right.
or you can actually make the call on WeChat anywhere in the world. And
And none of us
And
have done that. The rest of us have done that.
and see, and there's many products that do that. Skype does it,
Yeah,
and
I've
there's
seen-
many.
that's what I said, I thought it was like
But
that.
with Google Plus, you can actually create a Hangout on the social media platform. So you go there, you hit Hangout, and you can invite a friend. You guys can start talking. You can bring a panel in, like we could take all of us, up to 10 people, and create that on a Google Hangout. And then you can invite other people to watch.
So similar to what we're doing here on TV, except for that it would be live and it would be across social media platform as well.
Right. So with all of us, if there's an educational program that ESC Morris wants, they can put something up on, and there's no cost to it. And you can put it up, and as long as you have followers, you can invite all of them to come, and you can do an educational seminar. You know, Hans could do something on gardening. He could do his own how-to, and he could do that on a monthly basis and actually get people to subscribe to it. They can even get them to pay for it if they wanted to.
And we could do something like when we do an event, like they should do
Trends.
trends or,
Fashion
upcoming
show
shows,
or-
anything like that.
And in the medical industry, you can invite all of the dentists out there, anybody in the medical field for whatever product you're going to distribute, and give them an education on it right online.
right, the parent company, Milestone Scientific, does that for finance. But the dental company, Wand, which is wand.com, we do that for education. So
Right.
we might have a seminar with 60-odd dentists at the seminar being trained and getting points, which they need every year to maintain their license. But it will also go out to others, and those that view it will also get the points that they require.
So it's continuing education
Continuing
points.
education,
But now
yeah.
how does that differ from a Hangout, or is it the same?
Well, it's kind of the same, you know, similar. But what you can do with the Hangout after you're done, it can be saved and then put on YouTube. So after the whole thing is done, it can be seen over and over again. I mean, I'm sure you can do with that also.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
But the nice part about that is any small business can set up a Hangout in a matter of minutes and then get something out there. And once they have a good following, it becomes viral, and people get on it that you don't even intend to get involved. So it's a
Oh,
good thing.
yeah, because if it's, for instance, a new beauty product
Yeah.
that you're showing, and then all of a sudden I'm aware of it, and I
Want
can
everybody else to
invite a
share it.
friend and say,
Yeah.
listen, I'm going to watch this at a certain time and date.
Right.
Why don't you join me? Let's watch it together.
Yeah, you could do a tutorial and show them
Yeah,
how to
show
use
them
the
how to use it.
product, so that when people buy the product, they know how to use it at home.
But it sounds like it needs to be timely to create a sense of urgency. It
It
sounds
should
like
be
to me,
always.
right?
Always, it's good to have something timely, you know, because if there's no interest in it, nobody's coming.
Well, there might be interest in a tutorial, like she said, but
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that
Teach.
that it's time sensitive, is what I meant.
Right, so right now, you know, hair extensions and a lot of the things that you
like the
guys are
different
doing.
new techniques with, you know, I always say the brightness that's coming into this field. Samantha's hair also. I mean, people are
It's
afraid
very
to
shiny, I'm noticing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I'd
she
like
would
to have
talk
some of
about
that
why
shine.
it's that way. You know,
Why is
what
it so
product-
shiny? No kidding. I'm
You should
admiring
come
the
into
shine.
salon
Yes,
and
come
we'll
on.
make
What
your
is
hair.
it? But what is it that made it so shiny? Not so much the color, but the shine of it.
Well, we use Redken products, so a lot of Redken products also help make your hair look nice.
Pravana too. Yeah,
Pravana,
too.
we use Pravana color.
Joy
Pravana color,
Yeah,
it's called.
Joy
Joyco
Co.
color.
You know, we try to keep the hair healthy when you leave, not to make it leave like you always have to condition it. And people have to be educated in that too. So maybe that kind of information or tutorial, or even in an app, could do
A
that.
lot of people like to get educated on beauty and
They do.
style, so apps and Google Hangouts, like you're talking about, a lot of people are interested in that type of stuff because they want to know how to do it themselves. They don't want to have to come into the salon to learn how to do it.
Well, don't you feel, everybody here, that people are more educated these days on asking questions? Whereas before, people used to say, you're right, but people are asking us the question, why are you
In all
using that?
fields,
In all
right.
fields. So you have to have an answer.
That's
I
a
think
very good
that's showing
point.
it.
That's a very good point. What about keratin? Do you do keratin?
Yes, we
What
do
can you
keratin.
tell us about keratin treatments?
The keratin treatment is a smoothing treatment that takes the frizz out of your hair and it makes it easier for you to style.
Is it a straightener or not?
It lessens the curl, but it doesn't straighten it all the way.
So it's not a chemical?
It is chemical service, but it doesn't straighten the curl all the way. It relaxes the
But you
curl.
do hair straightening too, right?
And we do
Yeah, we
also.
do. We do the Japanese straightening.
That's more permanent, I would say. And one's
Yeah.
more like
Which is more permanent?
Japanese straightenings.
Really?
Yeah. Keratin treatments you do like once a year.
Okay, interesting. Any other thoughts you wanted to share, anybody? Or
Well, I think every one of them is a candidate to do something on Hangouts. I think Morris County Educational, that's a
Right.
great way to get
Yeah.
the word out
It's an
there.
interesting concept, really.
It is.
Yep, and Wiesner Brothers, you know, the same thing. I mean, some of the knowledge in your place to put that out on the internet and let people know little bits, little things to get them in to talk to you, I think is important. Be a great thing.
Well, you know what's interesting is a lot of times, I mean, we've been on Staten Island since 1928, and we have 8 acres. And a lot of times people go to be
8
there-
acres?
8
I didn't.
acres
Where are you located?
on Victory Boulevard. So what happens is people will come in and they'll say, "Oh my goodness, how long you guys been here?" Well, since 1928. and a lot of times it's because of something simple, like they've been to a lot of other places and they can't diagnose a plant problem or identify a plant. And then they're just like overwhelmed at the level of knowledge and expertise because it's experience. And we could say, well, we got one out back, let's go out and look at it. And like, oh my goodness. I've
You know,
never-
your front belies the depth, the size of your property. The frontage is
it's
is
because of
small compared to the-
zoning.
When is the best time to prune evergreens versus the opposite of it? What's the opposite of
Deciduous
evergreens?
plants?
Yes,
The ones that lose their leaves.
yes.
Well, a rule of thumb is if there's an annoying branch that keeps hitting you in the head every time you get out of your car, you can prune it any time of year. But flowering shrubs, such as spring flowering shrubs, you don't prune them too late in the year because the flower buds are already set, as long as they're not flowering evergreens.
Thank you. Thank you, participants. This was very interesting, learning about all of you and how
Yes,
your businesses
thank you.
work, and Charlie, how you can apply your technical expertise of creating apps to different businesses and disciplines. Was there anything you want to share with the audience before we close?
No, if you like the idea, give us a call.
It's Better BizWorks. Charlie's with Better BizWorks, and I'm with Heart of the Earth, and we thank you all for coming on. Thank you, viewers, for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hello again, and thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the show. And if you have any thoughts or concerns or ideas for a show or questions, please contact us. Our information is below. And remember, we want to know what's on your heart.